So since I said I was going in order of cost effectiveness, I really should have started with these guys, but the other option is seeds that come for free. They're essentially donated by the universe. So they're not always free, but I look at it as donated by the universe. If you buy produce, this is a butternut squash that I grew last year, but I got the seeds from one butternut squash that I bought at the store a year and a half ago. And from one squash, I got enough seeds probably to last me for the next 5 to 10 years. There's tons of seeds in the middle, especially if you wait till they're very mature. And you know, let one get as big as it possibly can get. And it's the same if you're saving seeds from cucumbers, any variety of squash. You want it to be as mature as possible so that the seeds are as fully cooked as possible. They are mature and they've got all the energy stored inside them to pick up and go as soon as they have the right germination conditions. Like these are some that I saved from a cantaloupe that I bought from the store. That's enough to last me a very long time. If you are saving seeds at home, I kicked myself because somebody recommended this to me and I should have thought of it sooner, but in the jewelry section of any big box store, pretty much, you can get these tiny little Ziplocs. Like this was 100 of them for like $1.90 or something, and they are perfect for storing collected seeds, and also when you trade seeds with people, this is a really easy way to keep them dry and contained. And some people write on the bag what it is. I like to put a little piece of paper inside and write on that piece of paper because I just, for whatever reason, half the time on plastic like this, I have a hard time getting the marker to stick. And if you are collecting your own seeds, here's a good example too. This is the first time that I ever grew petunias from seed that I had collected. Actually, it was the first time I grew them from seed at all. They're purple wave petunias that I bought a few of them at Wal-Mart last year as live plants, which, you know, petunias are very affordable. And I did some Googling and some talking to people and figured out how to collect the seed pods. And it was a little labor intensive because petunias they're like poppy seeds. I would almost hazard to say they are smaller than poppy seeds. So they're a little bit difficult to work with, but it was by no means impossible. And I probably put more effort into it than was strictly required because I'm the kind of person who fusses with things and can't let them alone. There are things that you don't actually need seeds. I mean, you could start them from seeds, but there's more effective ways. And a good example of that is ginger. So I don't know if you can see that. That's my first ginger I ever grew, and I'm super excited about it. But because ginger grows like tubers under the ground, I should have done some research on this plant a little bit more. I'll have to make a better video about this later. But turmeric and ginger both grow this way, and you just take a piece of the root that you bought and, you know, put it in some soil and just you don't want the soil to be soaking wet, but keep it damp. Don't let it completely dry out. Eventually, it takes a long time. I had completely given up on this thing. It sat in front of my TV. I kept it from completely drying out, and it did nothing, and it did nothing, and it did nothing. It was like probably 2 months. And finally I was like, okay, you know, we'll scrap it and try again another time. Obviously this isn't working. And I dumped this container out and gently pulled the pieces of ginger. I had 3 pieces of ginger in there, and 2 of them were indeed rotten. Probably I had watered a little too much, but one of them had it was sort of like a potato chip forming and a little bit of roots forming on it. And so I was like, well, maybe this is actually mission success. We might as well put it back in and find out. So I did. I put it back in there and I watered it, and I've been keeping it in a relatively warm space. My garage is pretty warm. I think these do okay in cooler weather, but I'm not 100% sure. And lo and behold, a little triangular sprout came up like a week and a half later and surfaced. And this thing grew probably 6 inches in the last week. So keep an eye out for things that are not seeds too, that you can use for, not for free, but as an additional product from something that you're already buying because you're cooking with it. I don't know that it's worth doing a video all on its own. I'm trying to do potato slips for sweet potatoes, and I'll take some pictures just in case you can't see on there, but this is the organic potato. Look at all of the roots, and this put down roots very quickly. Within a couple of weeks, it had a full root system at the bottom. And I have the potatoes just above the water. It's not actually in the water because you don't want to rot the bottom out. This one only has one teeny tiny root, and I'll show you a photograph because I'm sure you won't be able to see it from this far away because it's so tiny. So the difference is organic potato, not organic potato. This did still grow a root, but it took a very, very long time. I've had this one much longer, and it is putting out a couple shoots, but they're all on the bottom, like in the jar. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. This doesn't have any shoots on it yet, but I expect soon, the way that it's going. There are occasionally things, maybe seeds are harder to find. I bought myself, this was a huge splurge. I paid the $5.50 for lemon thyme. I don't know if you can read the tag from there, but this smells phenomenal, and I'm excited to put it in tea and lemonade and on chicken and fish and all of those kinds of things. And I was in the store and I was like, oh, I want it. And I stopped and I got out my phone, did my due diligence. None of the places I normally buy seeds from had seeds for that variety of thyme. And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna treat myself because it's something I don't have, and I know that it is something that I will use. And I know that thyme is perennial where I live, so it's not just an investment in a single season. It's going to come back next year and the year after that and the year after that, as long as I take good care of it. There are a few other places that you might check out, like your local farm stores, your local co-ops, especially if you're wanting to buy seeds for things like cover crops, or if you're growing things like corn especially. It's a lot more cost effective because you don't want to be buying corn in a package like this. I've never successfully done corn in my garden for a variety of reasons. I plan to eventually, but I did figure out that it is not worth it because there's only a handful of kernels of corn in this little package. And they charge the same for this as they do all the other ones that have maybe 200 seeds in them, if it's something like marjoram or basil or dill, especially, for it is not cost effective to buy corn in packets like this. But if you go to a farm store or a co-op or a place like that, you can buy like a 1 pound or a 2 pound or a 5 pound bag, and you are getting a lot more for your money. So if you're gonna do corn, try to buy your seeds that way, or maybe online probably has a similar deal somewhere. I know Baker Creek has a lot of really gorgeous varieties of corn. And I think we're going long enough that I'm definitely going to have to divide this into 2 parts. So hang with me just a second. I'm gonna go check my dinner rolls. Okay, they just need probably another minute or 2. So what else was I saying? So cover crops. If you are buying cover crops, you're going to want more than what's in this little package because you are looking to cover maybe an entire planter or an entire section of your garden if it's an in-ground garden or a raised bed. So to be cost effective, you want to buy from places that are going to sell you half a pound of seeds, or something like that, more bulk options. And again, your farm stores are going to be a good place to look for stuff like that. Or I think Botanical Interests, I think I have seen that kind of stuff on. They might have it at Baker Creek. haven't got into it myself yet. I've just been doing some reading, and I definitely see the value in using cover crops. My own personal gardening situation hasn't evolved yet to a point where I could get into that yet. Online, there are a few places. Johnny's is one that I have heard is good for cover crops as well, and that they've got really good quality seeds, but they are more expensive. I've never bought from them, but I have heard lots and lots of people think very highly of Johnny's. I've heard people speak very well of Wild Boar Farms, and eventually I would like to buy some different tomato varieties and things from them as well. I did, in a cursory look, I did see that Eden Brothers online does give Rakuten cash back, which is the first time I've seen that for somewhere where you're going to buy seeds. So that's pretty cool. If you don't know what Rakuten is, it's something that you can enroll in for free, sign up, and it basically, on certain websites, which Wal-Mart.com, if you order from them on a regular basis, it applies to a lot of things there. But there's a whole long list of websites that they will give you cash back. And we get a check periodically, and it's never tons, but 20 bucks here, 30 bucks there, it adds up. Seed Savers Exchange is another one that I kind of liked the look of, and I would like to try, but I cannot vouch for Eden Brothers or Seed Savers because I haven't talked to anybody about them. They're just something I'm interested in trying myself at some point. Etsy, Amazon, Wal-Mart.com, any major marketplace online is going to have individuals and seed companies as well that are selling on there. As long as you do your due diligence and make sure that, at least to the extent that you can, that they are a legitimate seller and they're not selling you something silly that is not real, which, believe it or not, it does happen. If I remember right, blue roses are one of those things. You see blue roses for sale all over the place, and there is no such thing as an actual blue rose as far as I know. I'd have to do some research to be 100% sure on that, but that's a rumor that I heard. So anytime you order from a seed company, oftentimes they will send you the free version of their catalog in the mail down the road, because they know us, and they know if they send us things with beautiful pictures that we will likely spend money again. So Baker Creek's magazines are gorgeous, and I can sit and look at these forever and ever. A lot of people, it's super funny actually, in a lot of the gardening groups, I've seen people talk about getting in their comfy jammies, and their idea of the best night ever is to sit down with all of their new catalogs and some good snacks and maybe something good on Netflix and just sit there all night and look at their seed catalogs. So this was Baker Creek, and then this is the last one I think I got, 2023 season of Botanical Interests. A lot of times you can request a free catalog if you go onto their websites. Baker Creek, I know, has a more in-depth catalog that you can pay for, and it has like the histories of the varieties, the stories of how they developed it. So if you enjoy that kind of thing, it might be worth paying for, or getting somebody as a gift who you know is a gardener. They publish a really nice product. So thank you for watching. If you have anywhere that I didn't mention that you like to get your seeds, drop it down in the comments. Let me know, let other people know. Comments can be a valuable place to exchange information. And happy growing. Get to it. It's time to start some seeds because spring is officially here, and hallelujah, right? Also, you gotta come over here with me for a second so I can show you my dinner rolls because they turned out super awesome. I hope. I haven't tasted them, but they look pretty good. It's the first time I have made dinner rolls in a very long time. I'm gonna let them cool and wrap them up, and they will go with us to a family meal tomorrow. Nothing like testing a new recipe during a holiday when everybody really cares about the food. So we'll find out. And maybe in the next video I'll update you on how it turned out, because surely people who plant flowers also love dinner rolls.